What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? My name is Todd Gray, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the moon. And I thought a good way to get started was to maybe kind of explain to you how I stumbled upon this discovery. And it was by pure accident. I want you to understand that. Okay, first of all, when I come across this, I didn't realize that, that I actually wasn't looking for this at all. Like I said, I just kind of stumbled upon it, and then next thing I know, we're good to go. So, all right. So let me get started. And like I said, I want to talk about the moon and how much of the moon do we really know? Like, how much about the moon do we honestly really know? You know, and I grew up in New Mexico, and I was always out hunting and living outdoors, and watching the moon all the time growing up, and never really paid much attention to it. I guess I always thought I did, but I reckon I didn't really pay much attention. And how many of us really pay attention to that moon? So I was kind of amazed at what I had stumbled upon. So, anyways, one day I was during the day I was just out checking it out and having a look up in the sky, and the moon was out and the sun was out at the same time, which it is a lot of times. Um, but this time I was paying more attention to it, and I noticed something was different, and I don't know, it just caught my eye, and I got to thinking, how does the moon cast its shadow? So I kind of went back to going back to in school and thinking it had to do something with the Earth blocking the rays or something like that. That's how I think I remember being taught. I don't know if anybody out there is on that same page, but just go with me here. Um, so I started wondering, and so I was looking in the sky, and I noticed that the moon was up in the sky and the sun was in the sky at the same time. And it was about a quarter of a moon or so. It was half lit up or so. And I, I couldn't understand how come the whole thing wasn't lit up. And it just made my mind really kind of start searching, like, well, hold up. Now, how does the moon cast its shadow? Because if the sun's right there and the moon's right here and there's nothing blocking it, why isn't the whole thing lit up? So I started asking other people about this. And it was kind of funny because it kind of amazed me that nobody really knew the answer. Everybody kind of said the same thing. It had something to do with the Earth blocking the rays or something. And I was like, well, that's what I was taught. And then I would tell them, here's the moon, here's the sun, here's a straight line, look at it. So anyway, I went on for a little while asking several different people at different locations. Just wasn't really getting the answers that I needed. Hold on, we got a low battery here, so real quick. And okay, it's up charging. All right, sorry about that. Now I don't want to bore anybody, so I want to try to get to the point. But so, anyways, so I started looking around, asking different people. Couldn't really come up with the answer that we were looking for, but it was kind of the same thing. So we went to, go to YouTube and the internet and started looking on that. And of course, we came up with some solutions on how the sun and the moon cast its shadows. So, and if anybody doesn't know how that works or not, they simply said go out and buy you a moon, okay, which is what I went and did here, okay. So I got us a moon, and anyways, they say the way that the moon casts its shadow is, of course, that if you're holding it directly, like so, you're the Earth, and of course, this is the moon, and so when you hold it over here, and as it rotates, around the Earth, and as it gets over here, it's going to start getting the shadow. So as it's going to, if it's right in front of the sun, then it's going to be completely dark. All right. We're going to go back to that because we're going to do a demonstration on that because it's going to play a big part later on what I discovered. So anyways, but this is how they proceeded to explain to us how the moon casts a shadow. And I bought right into it, and I said, yeah, that makes total sense to me. And so went and bought a ball so that we could make sure that it worked and it made sense. Okay. If anybody hasn't ever done that, go get you one of these and do the experiment for your own self. And by the time that we're done with all these phases of the moon that I have discovered, because I don't think I'll be able to do all of it in one shot. I want to bore nobody for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So we'll probably do them, every 20 minutes or something. It's already been going for 6. So anyways, we'll come back to this because you're gonna like, it's gonna blow your mind. What I have discovered, everybody, it's just totally makes me rethink everything that we were taught. And I'm hoping that by the time I'm done and you watch all these and you get to where I'm at now, you'll understand and you're going to want the answers the same as I want the answers. So anyways, so by me already experimenting on the moon and trying to figure out how the moon casts its shadow and all of this and looking at it, and we're coming up with different videos and solutions, and everything's starting to kind of make sense. So I'm going with it. Well, make a long story short, I had to go. I'm living in Florida now, and I'm from New Mexico, so I wanted to go back to New Mexico for a month and visit my family. So I got on a plane and hauled butt, and this was now I started discovering this and started messing around with the moon and the phases and everything about a year ago. Okay, and then what I have stumbled upon after doing a lot of research and just studying the moon night after night, day after day, I stumbled upon something else, which is what we're going to get to, which totally just your mind is I can't comprehend this, and which makes me really go back and question everything, especially scientists, the people that study the universe, NASA, the people that went to the moon, okay, our government. Okay, so I'm going to I'm kind of calling everybody out on this, and I'm just looking for answers, and everybody else can be looking for the same answers. So what I had done is I was going to Mexico, and I had told my nephew before I left that I wanted to run a little experiment while I was up in New Mexico on this moon. And he said, okay. And I didn't fill him in on what I was going to do. I just told him that that's what I need to do, and I would call you when the time was ready. So I got to New Mexico. I was there for a few days. And one day the sun was out and the moon was out. It was looking real nice. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. It was already dark back here in Florida, so I called back, and I wanted my wife to simply just go out and take a picture of the moon and tell me where it was at. It was about 10 o'clock at night, somewhere around there. Maybe around 8. I'm not sure what time it was, but it was dark here, but it was still light, and the sun was still up, and the moon was still out in the same sky. Long story short, Things didn't add up. Things just didn't make no sense, especially right off the bat. It's like, wait, huh? Um, so I immediately wanted to run another experiment the very next day. Told my nephew about it that morning. He was like, okay. He said, that don't make no sense. I said, it doesn't make no sense tonight. We're gonna do some more, but at the same time, we'll do some more experiments on it. And for 7 days after that, I could not find the moon at all, nowhere. Just it was gone. I think on the fifth day, I finally called back and I told my nephew, I was like, dude, I cannot find the moon. I've been looking every day so we could run some more experiments on it. He's like, I haven't been able to find it either. 7th day rolls around, I still can't find it. I've talked to my wife. I'm telling her that, I still haven't really found this moon and everything. And as we're sitting there talking, there it was. It appeared back in the sky. It's the craziest thing I'd ever seen right there. And I was just like, as I was talking to her, I was like, what? She's like, what? I was like, I don't believe you. So I said, there's the moon. Just all of a sudden, it's just back in the sky. I've been looking, and it was clear night, beautiful. Made no sense. So anyways, this is where it all started. Started getting real interesting. So 7 days later, it comes back. I'm running some more experiments on it. Things aren't adding up. So I decided when I came back home a month later, and I was fixing to go back to work. Now, at this time, I've been Uber driving. Okay. And this is where it's going to get real interesting. Okay. So I was fixing to go to work, and I must have been around. I like to work the graveyard shift, so I go in rather late. And so what I did is that we were outside, and the moon was up. It was nice, and the sun was just about to go down, and we were talking about the moon, and I was talking about it, what we had discovered and how things weren't making sense, and we were just studying the moon, and I even took some pictures of it. Went on to work. Now I'm driving all through the night, and in that morning, about maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, right around in there, where the sun was about to come up, maybe around 5 or something. The moon had already come all the way up. It was just coming up when I went into work, and throughout the night when driving, it's down over here. As we're spinning, it's about to go down. But I noticed something was different, and it was so mind blowing that I didn't believe what I was looking at. And before I could take a picture, it had done already went down. The clouds moved down, and it was gone. So I wasn't real sure if I saw what I thought I saw, but I was pretty sure. But I was like, that's impossible. So I went home, told my nephew about it. He told me I was crazy. So I'm gonna look at it tonight, and I'm gonna see. So sure enough, I went to go work that night, the next day, and sure enough, the moon's coming up. I was like, all right, there's the moon. I'm looking at it. It was like about a quarter of a moon or so. Half a moon was, it was half dark or more. It was just, it was lit up and half dark. And as it's coming up, into the sky, the lit parts up in the sky. So, I gotta get my moon here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So, as it's coming up over the horizon like this, well, let's just say that this side here was dark, okay? And so it's coming up like this. All right. Now it's in the sky, and it's like this. So this is dark over here. This is your shiny part. So this is all dark. You can't see it. But you can see this part. So it comes up. And then as we spin around, it goes through the night. You're still looking at the same thing. Okay. But the only thing that was different this time is that part that was glowing, that was shining up like this, it's now pointing down. And the shadow was on top and the shiny part was down. So it came up like this. And when it was going down, it was like this. So it was like this, and it was like this when it went down. So it did a 180-degree turn, and now it's pointing down. Now, that just messed my mind up because I couldn't believe that I had seen that. And so from that day on, every day, every night, every time I look at the moon, sure enough, it comes up, no matter whether it's a full moon, a quarter of a moon, a half a moon, whichever way it comes up, when it goes down, it's the opposite. It's a 180-degree turn. Now this is where it gets interesting because I wanted to know how that was possible. And so I started searching online. I was watching the moon roll 180 degrees. And I wanted to look at it. Couldn't find it. Not nowhere. Not online. Not one little bit of evidence. So I thought, well, maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. So I'm asking the wrong thing. I said, let me look at time lapse of the moon. I said, that'll show us. That'll show everybody because I just got to have pictures of the moon because I'm watching it every day, every night, every time it's in the sky. And then when it goes down, it's the opposite. So it comes up like this, goes across the sky, and it goes down like this. I got to be able to see pictures of this, right? Go to time lapse of the moon. Nothing. You're not going to see it. You'll see it come up, and then they don't show you no more. It's as if it disappears, and then they show you it coming in. So after searching, asking people, and nobody has seen this, no one's even heard of this, having no pictures are caught on it, haven't seen anything on the internet about it. So I said, well, let's take it one step further. Went to NASA, NASA Live, right? I mean, they've been on the moon and they study it all the time. They got to know this thing rolls. So I asked them, what about the moon rolling? They tell me, Mr. Gray, it doesn't roll. I tell them it does roll. I tell them all the others to look at it. I told them exactly how it rolls and everything. They deleted my stuff. That's okay because I get it. But I want the answers. And I'm hoping that you're going to want these answers too. Because, first of all, the moon, you're going to find out that they're going to tell you it doesn't roll. And then you're going to look at the moon and you're going to tell me, yeah, I looked at it, it doesn't roll. But I'm going to tell you that I also looked at the moon my whole life and never seen it. And if you think you're just going to walk outside and say, oh, I see what you mean, it doesn't happen. That moon is in our atmosphere or in our solar system, whatever you want to call it, in the hemisphere, for about 14 hours. From the time it comes up until it moves across the sky until it disappears, about 14 hours. In that 14 hours, you're not going to notice the moon in an hour. You're not going to notice it in 2 hours, and 3 hours, and 4 hours, and 5 hours, and 6 hours, and 7 and 8 hours. You're going to notice that the moon is now in a different position than it was when it started. All right. Once you get to 10 hours and 11, you're going to know without a shadow of a doubt that the moon is 100% turning 180 degrees, the opposite direction. And here's the interesting thing. Now, as I kept going on and studying this and watching it day after day, night after night, every time I was in it, every time I could see it, is that I started looking to notice that the shadow was rolling with it. Not only was the shadow rolling with it, but little dark spots and all the color deals and all that, and whatever they want to call that, the goofy ear, the Playboy bunny ears, whatever you see. Well, they also turn with it. Okay. So you got the shadow and everything on the moon all rolling in 14 hours, 180 degrees. Now, I don't know about you, but I had went and bought this ball just so that I could show everybody this experiment and show everybody that this is just bullcrap. Because first of all, you cannot make a shadow roll. You cannot make that shadow roll with this moon. No matter what, you can turn the moon. You can run it all day long, different lights. You can put them around, and that shadow is not going to roll. But the moon rolls, and everything rolls, and the shadow rolls with it when you look at it. So it's got to tell me a couple of things that, well, really it's telling me one thing, that the shadow must be part of the moon. Right. And I know that's crazy, right? Well, it's crazy that the moon rolls and nobody knows it. But remember, if you're going to watch it, you've got to be able to watch it come up. And you're not going to see it in 2 hours, 4 hours, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, after you notice it start to turn, when you see it for the first 2 or 3 times, maybe for the first time, but after that, you'll notice it in 6 hours if you're paying attention. But other than that, you won't really ever pay attention. You never notice it. So if you look at it when it came up and you watch it for an hour, and like out 2 hours later, it's going to look the same. Another 2 hours later, it's going to look pretty much the same too. Another 2 hours later, it's going to start looking a little bit different. Another 2 hours, it's going to start looking different. But you're not going to see it in just a couple hours. So if you go out and look at it in 2 hours, then you don't go out and look at it for another 8, 9 hours, and you didn't really pay attention, you're going to notice that it turned. So this brings me to a lot of interesting things, and the reason why I say I want to call out the calling out NASA, calling out the people that study the moon, people that study the galaxies and all that. All right? Because what I found is that even NASA is telling me that the moon don't roll. And I'm telling you, each and every one of you, along NASA, government, astronomy, everybody that studies it, it rolls. All right, it definitely, and the shadow rolls with it. All little things roll with it. Now, either nobody ever knew that, and you guys just somehow overlooked that by teaching us everything else, or you're keeping it hid from us for some other reason. So what's two of it is? So I would like to know the answers, and I hope that each and every one of you would like to know the answers too. Now, this is not something I'm making up or just trying to blow smoke in somebody's butt because all these gurus out there that, that I can't wait to hear your comments. I can't wait to have somebody break this down for me and, try to make me look really stupid and dumb because I'll tell you what, I can't wait to hear your answers because I can't figure it out. I can't make the shadow roll with it. I can't do it, but yet you watch it at night. You'll see that it really does it. So, I hope you guys like the first phase of my moon. We dove right in. I told you everything from start to finish, how I got there and how I make mine, and how this has got my mind going that I can't stop because I've got to know these answers. So we're going to do live streaming, live videos, probably as much as I possibly can. We're going to talk about the same thing a lot, which is this moon rolling across the sky. got lots of pictures. I'm documenting it, taking pictures of it. I got a thing going. I want to call it the Moon Challenge. It's going to take a little bit of time. I've been trying to do the Moon Challenge my own personal self here, and it's that tough that it's proved to be a challenge because Mother Nature loves to mess that up for us. But anyways, we got into a lot more with the other stuff that I discovered along the way. So I just went real quick and didn't really go into a lot of detail, but we'll keep going over it day by day until we finally get the answers. And you'll see. I'll start giving y'all some pictures and videos, and like I said, I'm documenting it. I'm also learning a bunch of other stuff currently with it. I'm trying to make sense of most of this. So far, it's not proven to have too much success, but hopefully by me getting this word out like this, you guys can start blasting this, let's start getting it out there. Make it go viral if you can, whatever you want to do. But I really believe this holds the answers, guys. It starts right here. They can hide a lot of things. They can cover a lot of things up. There's one thing about us humans, though. Proof. That's what we like, proof. Okay? So there's a lot of people out there that seen a lot of things. Maybe you've seen Bigfoot, maybe you've seen aliens. Maybe you got some pictures of it. They were blurry, they were offbeat. Not real sure, maybe you got the best ones, but here's something that they can't hide. And each and every one of us can go out and start looking at it. Every time it's in the sky, guys. Every time. Alright? It's gonna roll. 180 degrees. It comes up like this. When it goes down, it's gonna be like this. Can't wait to hear your comments. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, everyone. Talk great. The Moon Challenge is on the way. Thank you.